The Forgotten Diary. The rain tapped gently against the windows of the tiny second-hand bookstore, creating a rhythmic lullaby that wrapped around Ananya like a comforting embrace. She pushed the door open, and a small bell chimed, announcing her arrival. The warm scent of old paper and leather-bound books greeted her, a nostalgic reminder of childhood afternoons spent lost in stories. Ananya's life had felt strangely empty lately, like a canvas waiting for color. As a corporate analyst, her days were filled with spreadsheets and deadlines, leaving her yearning for something real, something meaningful. The bookstore felt like an escape, a portal to another world. Her eyes scanned the shelves, fingers lightly tracing the cracked spines of books that had weathered time. She had always believed that old books carried pieces of their owners' souls, whispers of the lives they once touched. It was then that her fingers stopped. There, tucked behind a stack of novels, was a diary. The brown leather cover was worn, its corners frayed. A simple clasp held it shut, its tarnished brass glinting faintly in the dim light. Something about it called to her. She hesitated, her pulse quickening, before gently pulling it free. As she held it, a strange chill coursed through her, as if the book itself carried a weight, a story desperate to be told. "How much for this?" she asked the elderly shopkeeper. He squinted at the diary, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. "That one? It's been here longer than I can remember. You can have it for free, dear. Maybe it's been waiting for you." Ananya smiled politely, though his words sent a shiver down her spine. At home, she lit a candle on her bedside table and settled under a blanket. The diary sat in her lap, its presence oddly heavy. She undid the clasp with trembling fingers, the sound echoing in her silent apartment. The first page bore a name, written in an elegant, looping script, Mira. Beneath it was a date, 1952. Ananya's heart skipped a beat. The pages smelled of age and carried faint smudges, as though the writer had poured her emotions into them with no regard for neatness. January 3rd, 1952. Today, I met him. Ananya leaned closer, drawn into Mira's world. The entries spoke of a forbidden romance with a man named Arjun, their love unfolding against the backdrop of societal expectations and family honor. The descriptions were vivid, raw, and brimming with emotion. Mira's joy, her fears, her aching loneliness, they all came alive on the pages. As days turned into nights, Ananya found herself obsessed with the diary. She carried it everywhere, sneaking glances during coffee breaks and reading under the covers late into the night. But the more she read, the more unsettling it became. Mira's life wasn't just about love. Strange events began to creep into the entries. She wrote about feeling watched, about shadows that moved when no one was there, about dreams that felt too real. One passage sent chills down Ananya's spine. March 15th, 1952. I saw her again, the woman in white. She stood at the edge of the lake, her face hidden by a veil. She whispered my name. Arjun says I'm imagining things, but I know she's real. She wants something from me. Ananya felt a lump form in her throat. The descriptions mirrored something she had experienced just the night before, a shadow flickering across her bedroom wall when no one was there. She brushed it off, blaming her overactive imagination. But as the days passed, the coincidences became impossible to ignore. Her dreams were filled with Mira's life, places she had never been, people she had never met. One night, unable to sleep, Ananya decided to research Mira and Arjun. Her fingers flew over the keyboard, piecing together fragments of history. That's when she found it, a newspaper clipping from 1952. Young couple found dead by lakeside, tragic end to a forbidden love. Her breath caught. The article mentioned Mira and Arjun by name, describing how their bodies were discovered near a lake, hand in hand. The tragedy had been ruled a double suicide, though whispers of foul play lingered in the community. Ananya's chest tightened. The diary had stopped abruptly a week before the date of their deaths. She flipped through its pages desperately, but they were blank. It was as if Mira's voice had been silenced. That night, as Ananya lay awake, the room grew colder. She clutched the diary to her chest, heart racing as the shadows seemed to shift again. And then faintly, she heard it, a whisper. "Ananya,